Elizabeth and myself would like to thank ChiroSecure for always having our backs and having the backs of our profession, and for giving us this opportunity to help spread the word on chiropractic care for kiddos. So Elizabeth is going to take a little bit of a nap while we continue to hang out, so don't go anywhere. Hi, I'm Dr. Monika Buerger, and I am super excited to bring you the third in our series of neuro-nutritional considerations for preconception, prenatal, and postnatal optimal health and optimal neural development. So hang on, because I've got a goodie today. We're going to talk about a key nutrient that's going to be responsible for placental health. And did you know that the placenta is considered the third brain? Yes, it is. So this mighty nutrient is going to be needed for mom's cell wall membranes, baby's cell wall membranes, and placenta cell wall membranes, which are critically important. This key nutrient is going to be needed to support the liver, and that can be associated with, if it's deficient, associated with cholestasis and gallbladder pain and all of that stuff that happens to increase during pregnancy. And this key nutrient is huge in neuronal development and building and sensory processing in the offspring, especially sensory speed of processing information. So, what is this mighty nutrient that you need to know about and make sure it's on board preconception, prenatally, and postnatally? And it's a key nutrient that over 70% of pregnant women are deficient in. And it's a key nutrient that was depleted with COVID. And how many more complications are we seeing in these little kiddos that are being born post-COVID? So, what is this? What is it? It's choline. Yes, choline. Choline is it is such a versatile, needed key nutrient during this whole phase and all developmental stages of life. It has been shown that it's been depleted post-COVID, and we are seeing more placental complications post-COVID. And what it does, it is responsible for supporting the placenta vascular supply and helping increase nutritional transfer of key nutrients across the placenta from mom to baby, and key nutrients that are vital for neurodevelopment. And choline in and of itself is a key vital nutrient. So again, it's going to be responsible for anti-inflammatory effects on the placenta and oxidative stress effects and everything we need for a healthy placenta. Remember, when does the first subluxation occur? When does birth trauma or being born trauma actually first occur? It's not necessarily with the birthing process. It's with the birth experience, the environmental experience. When we talk about the polyvagal theory, Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory is all about experiences, environmental experiences. And this starts in the womb. And the placenta is one of the key areas that we have to look at now as far as environmental, toxic, non-toxic, nutrition versus not as high nutrition experiences in that fetal development. So let's talk a little bit about choline. Yes, it is needed for all cell wall membranes, for the health and the synthesis of all cell wall membranes, especially neuronal cells, so that it fosters cell-to-cell communication. So if we're deficient in it, these cell wall membranes, their integrity, the cell wall membranes stiffen up. Once they stiffen up, key nutrients can't get into the cell. The cells can't communicate. If these are neuronal cells, that's a really bad situation we have been going. Cell functional connectivity in the developing brain has a hard time happening. It is very much needed to support the liver and gallbladder, one of the key nutrients. And so we can see pregnant mamas in particularly struggle with global itching of the skin with no rash. That oftentimes is liver congestion. Choline can be a support for that. Gallbladder issues, choline can be a support for this. So that's another key thing that we use choline for. Now, like I said, about 70% or more women are deficient in choline, pregnant women. There's been a lot of studies that look at how much and when choline should we have, should we not have. First of all, from a food standpoint, from food sources, nuts, legumes, those type of things. But egg yolks are high in choline, but you have to eat a lot of them. And some people are allergic to eggs. Some people won't eat them. You have food aversions when during pregnancy. So this can be a complicating factor there with not getting enough choline in there. So we know that supplementing with a supplement form of choline is very healthy for the developing fetus as well as mom. The first and second trimester, maybe you want about 450 milligrams of supplemental choline. But that third trimester, when you've got a big boost in nervous system, spine, brain development, upwards of 900 to 960-ish milligrams of extra choline support is recommended for optimal fetal neurodevelopment. Sources, you got to look at supplemental sources. There's choline can be obtained from soy sources, which isn't necessarily the source you want during pregnancy. Sunflower lecithin is another source of choline. So you want to look for supplements that have good sourcing, and if they can get it from more of a sunflower-based lecithin rather than a soy-based lecithin. So this amazing nutrient is needed across the board for mom's health, fetal health, placental health. It's so vital. You want to look at good sources, and you want to look at also making sure baby gets enough postnatally too for continuing brain building and neural connections. So that would be if you have a breastfeeding mom, make sure mom's getting enough choline. If you are having to, if mom's having a supplemental feed, is there a source? Is the source that they're using containing enough choline there so baby is getting those incredibly important building blocks for their brain as well? So choline, it is also a precursor needed for acetylcholine, which is needed to help foster good vagal tone and modulation of that vagal axis. So sensory, vagal, emotional, ventral. That ventral vagus is where we socially bond with parents, with caregivers. Again, another critical developmental axis that could be supported by this key nutrient called choline. So hopefully you find this information useful in your practices. We've talked about vitamin D in the past. We've talked about folate, methylfolate. Add choline to your must-know list when it comes to supporting mom, baby, placenta, and all things neurodevelopment. If you want more information on how to support your preconception, prenatal, postnatal period mamas and babies, scroll down, dive in to our 6 pillars of neurodevelopment, our foundations of neurodevelopment course. You must know this information in today's world when so many mamas and babies are stressed out, and that nervous system, the first subluxation can happen pre-birth in an environment that is deficient in nutritional needs and that is overstressed with inflammatory toxins taking place. So scroll down, Dive in, dig in, must know information in your 6 pillars of neurodevelopment. And until next month, me and Elizabeth want to bid you a great beginning of your summer. And again, thank you, ChiroSecure, for giving us this platform to educate the world on chiropractic for kiddos and how we can foster optimal neural development. We'll see you in July.
Today's pediatric show, Look to the Children, was brought to you by ChiroSecure.